Hey guys, welcome back! In this week's episode, we'll be taking a look at 6 of my favorite PlayStation 2 games that continue to be exclusive titles on that gaming platform, without any kind of HD facelift or re-releases on more recent rigs. So, let's take a look. It's 2015 and only now I'm discovering the huge PS2 library, and it's pretty cool to buy games and have, once again, that same feeling from the 80s in which the only source for video game reviews and related stuff were expensive magazines. So, back then, I bought games just by its title or by reading its back cover. If I wanted to know more about a specific title, I eventually had to buy a magazine, even knowing that for the rest of the month I wouldn't be able to get a brand new game. So, with that in mind and applying that same principle, let's take a peek to these awesome 6 PlayStation 2 video games that I've discovered and learned to enjoy. So let's just not waste any time and jump right into one of the most successful games on the PlayStation 2, Gran Turismo 4. For starters, it has one of the most beautiful box arts ever on a video game, with its white case combined with the also white background of the cover. Developed by Polyphony Digital and released firstly in Japan in December of 2004 by Sony Computer Entertainment, it had a few minor issues before launch that resulted in a year-and-a-half delay, and the programmed and highly anticipated online mode was completely removed. Nonetheless, there's plenty to do, more than 700 cars to test and 51 tracks to explore. The sad side is that there's no changing in weather, night and day transitions even in 24-hour races, and damage to the player or the vehicles. Gran Turismo 4 is one of the few PS2 games on a dual-layer DVD, requiring that the console's laser lens needs to be clean and in extremely good operating condition. It's also one of the 4 PlayStation 2 titles to have a 1080i resolution, but sadly only on NTSC territories, despite the PAL version being the most lucrative, practically doubling its own sales on the other regions altogether. In total, it is estimated to have sold about 12 million copies all around the world. Developed indoors by Sony Computer Entertainment and released firstly in Europe in late 2003, Ghost Hunter has a kind of simple but effective plot where we control a Detroit detective who releases by accident a bunch of ghosts. So, who we're gonna call? No one. It's all up to us, cause they even kidnapped Anna, our lovely partner. This third-person shooter with also a first-person mode, only useful for more accurate shooting, allows us to also control in certain places a spirit named Astral that can attract other ghosts and even possess them. The game's amazing ambience and storyline is what makes Ghost Hunter a winner, even if it was criticized for being too easy. I've enjoyed it so much, and there's even a surprise at the end that you must find out for yourselves. The game was released in the States by Namco only in August of 2004, and it included over 1,000 tweaks and fixes, mostly on the combat and targeting systems, making it a bit harder, but with simpler puzzles to solve.
What the hell's going on? What have you done down here?
Well, I found something.
As mentioned on episode 12 about mountain biking video games, Downhill Domination is the best you can get based in this extreme sport. For years, Codemasters have been trying to publish a MTB game that really stood out from the crowd, but unfortunately, even Downhill Domination passed practically unnoticed. The incredibly huge multi-path courses are so amazingly detailed and designed, and filled with wildlife. There's also hikers to avoid or not, and the other opponents that tries to push us against the obstacles. With an amazing soundtrack, we're invited to roam through a series of challenges in freeride, mountain cross and technical downhill. The environment is constantly changing, from forests with narrow passages between trees to stony sections, river crossings, weather effects, you name it. There's so much stuff going on that you just can't appreciate all of it. You can play the same open track a dozen of times and do it differently on every single try. Amazing. Sony Computer Entertainment developed and released in March of 2003 this action-adventure game that transports us to these demonic realms in search of the main character's boyfriend. In Primal we play as Jennifer or as Scree, the gargoyle, and we can change to one of them at any time for a completely different set of powers and abilities. Jennifer can also change into a demon form, allowing us to do some attack and defense moves unavailable in a human form. As for Scree, he can climb walls and cannot suffer damage, so the most obvious choice is to send him or hit in front, scouting the terrain. Jennifer, Primal's main character, was considered an underrated video game chick that could even surpass Lara Croft herself if the game was available on other gaming platforms.
Uh-oh.
Don't panic. They can smell fear, you know.
You're not on the menu here. I'll smell how I want.
Another Polyphony Digital astonishing accomplishment released in 2006 and, again, with 1080i support in NTSC regions. Considered the best PS2 simulation of that same year, Tourist Trophy utilizes Gran Turismo's 4-game engine, the graphical user interface, and almost all tracks and circuits. There's 135 bikes to take out for a ride from the 1960s up to 2005, and the game also features 186 different riding accessories for the player, like helmets, boots, pants, gloves, jackets, etc. from officially licensed manufacturers. Tourist Trophy really nails it, transmitting that real feeling of driving a motorcycle, natural and fluid. The learning curve is right there, but if you've played Gran Turismo or other serious racing game, you're ready. Originally planned to be the last game of the series, R-Type Final, originally released in 2003 in Japan, is simply Irem's best title of the franchise. Already mentioned on PixelThing's 10 must-have PS2 games episode, R-Type Final provides more than 100 ships to choose that obviously needs to be unlocked. The graphical power of the PlayStation 2 is extremely well used and abused with lighting effects, explosions, animations, you name it, but unfortunately, with all this going on at the same time, slowdowns can really occur. However, if you've grown up alongside with the R-Type video games, you'll certainly enjoy this one. It spawned in numerous other video game franchises that we all must be grateful to. So, excluding HD remastered titles, what other PlayStation 2 exclusives would you recommend? I'm curious to hear from you, and as I said in the beginning of this video, I'm just now beginning to enjoy PS2's amazing library of games. As always, please comment, like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next week.